I'll call regular city council meeting Tuesday, May 15th, 2018 to order. Clerk call roll, please.
Alderman Putoff.
Here.
Ferrari. Here. Waldorf. Here. Lukosius. Radke. Sapienza. Here. Payton. Here. Ballard. Here. Mayor Howell.
Here. Please stand for the pledge. Okay, any cards for public comment, any agenda items?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, looks like we have a presentation from Mr. Seth Brandon to discuss summer program. Seth, it's all yours. Justin, could somebody turn on the mic for Seth?
I'll pass these out to you guys. Thanks for having me, by the way. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Hundreds and hundreds of copies of that. The back two pages going to the utility bill on the website.
One left. Can we share?
We can share it. We can share it.
Right.
Thank you.
Seth, I got that. I'm very familiar with it. Here, I'll do it.
Okay, so what I just passed out was kind of an overview of what's going on for the rec department this summer. Summer camps, summer events, parades, all that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to kind of give you a brief overview of everything, and then at the end, if there's any questions, feel free to ask. The camp flyer, if you open up to the camp flyer, which would be the last page of the packet I handed out, there are 27 camps this year. 6 of which have 2 sessions for a total of 33 camps for the kids to participate in this year. 8 of those camps are new programs that we've implemented. All these camps are free to Peru residents, except for a select few: the cooking camp, Build-A-Bear, and horseback riding. Non-Peru residents are welcome to participate as well. There's just a $10 registration fee for them. We're having our sign-up date on June 9th this year. That has been changed from last year. Last year it was during the week. We're going to go for a weekend date this year, hopefully get some more people there. We've had a great turnout in the past, but just want to give every opportunity available to those who want to participate. So June 9th, 9 to 11. If you look through here, some of the camps say at the bottom of the camp description, sign-ups held at the West Shelter at Washington Park. These are the ones that have limited space due to resources or facilities available for the camp. All the other camps, if they do not say that on there, you just show up the day of the camp, sign up with the instructor, and you can start right away. There's also 4 programs this year, 2 of which are new. We have our tennis coming back and our arts and crafts coming back. The tennis program has 2 different classes being offered. There's a beginner class and an intermediate class. So we have a wide array of people with different skill levels that can, get something out of it. Good attendance the last couple of years. Hope to keep that going. Arts and crafts is open for ages 4 and up. It's 4 days a week for 5 weeks. Again, we had great success with that last year, and it's been around for a long time. Kids really do seem to enjoy it. 2 new ones this year. Fitness in the park. This was kind of an idea that just came about talking to local people in the area. It's an opportunity for adults and families to get out and involved together because it's in the evening, and it kind of promotes different people in the area who offer different classes at the YMCA or other fitness facilities. It kind of just shows people what's out there, what's available, and they can go to these classes. They're free, kind of get a taste of what's out there. They're Monday and Thursday evenings at Centennial Park. And again, just whole families invited to get out there. It's all appropriate based on what you're able to do. There's no set requirements on, this person has to work out this hard or whatnot. You just go on your own level. So that's what's nice about it. I've talked to all the instructors, and that's something big they're going to be promoting at these events. The final program is the swimming at the Illinois Valley YMCA, and I got to give a big kudos to Alderman Sapienza. He did the legwork on this and did a fantastic job. Great opportunity for the kids and our community. It's basically got two parts. Kids can come in, they can get some very affordable swimming opportunities throughout the summer at the YMCA, and they even have a chance to redeem that cost by completing the swim lessons and turning in the proper paperwork to the City of Peru, the clerk's office here, and that small registration fee is reimbursed for them if they do complete that. So that's super cool. The rec board's really excited about it. They voted to go ahead and fund the program, and just excited for our kids to have a swimming opportunity in Peru at the YMCA. So thanks again for that, Mike. That was awesome.
Thank you for doing it.
No problem. We also have Touch a Truck, June 16th this year. It's from 12 to 3 at Centennial Park. Hopefully we have as good a weather as we did last year. Last year was beautiful, had an awesome turnout. The police, ambulance, fire department, local facilities, they all do a great job in bringing their equipment over. Really appreciate all their efforts in that as well. Movie in the Park this year, June 22nd. It's at 7:30 at Centennial Park. We have our cheer camp. They're going to perform some cheers they learned at their camp prior to the movie starting, and we're also going to have the Peru Library coming in. They're going to do a reading, an interactive reading with the crowd. Last year they did the Three Little Pigs, and it was a story about the Three Little Pigs I'd never heard of, and it was actually pretty fun to listen to. The movie this year is Moana. I'm a teacher, and the kids are always talking about that movie. Some of them have watched it, I think, 100 times. They can quote it. So I hope that's a great turnout for this year. Then on July 3rd, the City of Peru is hosting fireworks down on Water Street. We'll be working together, the rec board, trying to get a family area all coordinated and get everything set up with some bounce houses. And then, of course, we have our two parades. The Halloween parade will be on October 20th, and the Christmas parade on December 1st. And we'll also have a Santa fly-in during that same weekend. So a couple fun events coming up throughout the year on past summer. This summer, we also have two new locations of interest in Peru. One's out at Baker Lake. That's the disc golf course. They started working on that this past fall. I know it's getting a lot of use already. The course is 5,292 feet long with a par of 55. And our board president, Ray Zabrowski, actually just informed me today that we had our first hole-in-one out there recently. Had a gentleman over from Ottawa, and he scored a hole-in-one on the 238-foot hole, number 7. So congrats to him. What's that?
Was there witnesses?
I don't know. Was there witnesses? So very cool. And also we have the splash pad opening up at Washington Park this summer. And some more information on that to come. So any questions on what's going on this year with the rec department and events going on for recreation?
Eric and both of you, when is the grand splash pad?
We don't have an exact date right now, but we're shooting for the middle part of June. We're finishing up some final work on would be the western half of the park, obviously, with construction still to go on the ice rink on the east half. We'll open up the western half. We do have some people coming in later this week to start some training and season updates, if you will. So the kickoff, we'll be running some of our personnel through that training. It's more on the electronics and the cleaning of the equipment and things of that nature. So we're nearing the end on the splash park portion, so shooting for probably the second or third week of June right now.
Seth, I just want to say you've done a wonderful job of collaborating community skills and facilities, and I think the residents of Peru are certainly going to be benefited by it. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Okay, do we have a motion to receive the minutes and place on file?
So moved.
Second, Your Honor. Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Do we have a motion to receive the financial reports and place on file?
So moved, Your Honor.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Do we have a motion to receive the activity reports and place on file?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. We'll move right on to committee reports. Finance Safety Services, Chairman Putoff.
Yes, Your Honor, I'd like to present to the City Council the city-approved disbursements for 5/16 of the year 2018. The disbursements total is $1,319,905.85. I'd like to make a motion that this be received, placed on file, the bills paid in the usual manner.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second to receive the disbursements, place on file, and pay the bills in the usual manner. Is there any discussion? We'll have a roll call, quick call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Lukosius. Sapienza. Payton. Ballard.
Motion approved.
Your Honor, on our agenda, we have a motion to consider a request of Attorney Julie Eister regarding the legal fees in the amount of $3,093.75. Tonight, Your Honor, I'm going to make a motion not to pay the bill. I think it's in the best interest of the taxpayers to protect the taxpayers and not pay this bill.
I'll second that, Your Honor.
We have a motion and a second to not pay the request from Attorney Julie Eister regarding the legal fee in the amount of $3,093.75. Is there any discussion? Okay, we'll have a roll call, quick call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Lukosius. Sapienza. Payton. Ballard.
Okay, the motion approved.
Alderman Payton, would you update us on the third motion tonight?
Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to approve $2,000 contribution to the Starved Rock County-wide drone footage. And what this is another piece to our economic development. We've done some work with Starved Rock Country before we did a trip to China. And what they'd like to do is hire professional drone companies to film the Illinois Valley. And for Peru, we will be able to cut out the footage of Peru. You can highlight our industrial parks, our recs, anything that we choose to highlight and put it on our own website. This will be dispersed through their whole network. I spoke with Mr. Whitney about it, and for this, I think as we can target businesses coming to Peru, they'll be able to see exactly what piece of property is available, what's here in Peru. For the amount of money that we're going to spend on this, it's well worth that.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Is there any discussion? You'll have a roll call, quick call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Lukosius. Sapienza. Payton. Ballard.
Motion approved.
Is there anything, Chief, you'd like to update us with? Jeff?
Just want to make sure it's working. Everybody can tell. I want to talk a little bit. We actually got some good news with our tanker's back in service. It's back in the building. Actually, it's up at CIT right now, getting some exhaust work. But it's back in service. We got it back. And I want to give you a little history on the tanker itself from beginning to end. 2010, this tanker was built. Demick Fire Protection provided the money for the chassis of this truck, and then Liberty Fire Company #1, which is a fundraising tool that raises money for the fire department. It's a bunch of guys that just raise money. They and the city together went and paid the existing part of this tanker. At that time, the tanker was $142,661. Demick provided $86,831 back in 2010, and Liberty and the city paid $55,830 together. With that, the money out of that came through a donation fund that I had, that I was soliciting businesses and different things like that. So actually, at that time, the money that the city put up came from all them donations I had. So we had no money in this truck other than the donations that I got and what Liberty put into it. So it's a pretty good deal. And keep in mind that this tanker is used primarily for the rural district, okay? So the money coming from them is very important. We get the money from them because that's what it's protecting. We've used it a few times in the city. West Clocks, obviously, is a fire you can remember. We used it a lot there. Sometimes we'll use it in the city if we don't have enough water, we'll use it. But primarily use of this tanker is in the rural district. So we've had it for 8 years. 2018, we've been having problems with the stainless steel tank. The water sitting in the tank over the course of all the time is deteriorating the tank. Started to have welding leaks, pinholes, different things like that. So we needed to replace this tank. We went to DEMIC, to their board, and said, hey, you know, this primarily is your truck. You know, can you help us? We got to start putting together a program to replace this tank. And they said, yeah, go out and get us a bid or a quote, not a bid, but a quote. Go out and get us a quote as to what a new tank's going to cost. We went out and got that quote, came back to them. Basically, it was $112,828 replaced everything from the back of the cab all the way back. And they said, we're on board. We're going to give you the money. They provided $104,559 towards this project. Liberty paid $8,629 towards this project. There's going to be a little bit of cost in it that I'm still getting a couple bills left, but I'm going to be in it for probably right around $5,000, $6,000, but I'm getting the bills in. And those are the things that I had to put on it. Safety devices, lights that I wanted, backup cameras, a lot of safety equipment, different valves that I wanted on it. And since I wanted to put those on, I paid for those through the city. So altogether, you're looking at a tanker that's probably going to be now worth in the realm of $200,000 that we maybe as a city have invested $6,000 in the tops. The nice thing about it is we had a local company, Illinois Valley Excavating, remove the tank for us. It's been sitting out there, and now when we go to our excess property auction, when we do sealed bids, we can put that on there. We can sell it at that point, and then recoup whatever we'll get some money out of it. I can't tell you. It's probably worth, I don't even know, maybe $3,000 or $4,000, $5,000. I can't even give you a number on it because it's you know, there's not a lot of uses for it. But somebody may want it. A farmer may, I don't know. Somebody may want it. So we'll put it in our excess property bid and get some money back, and that will ease our cost of what we have into this. So we could, you know, pretty much pay about $2,000 into this whole thing. So the truck's back in service. It'll be working. And one other thing, just to note that this tanker only has 3,000 miles on it. There's not a lot of miles on this truck, and it's going to last us a long time for hardly anything into it. So, just want to let you know that's where we're at with it. Any questions? Any questions with the tanker at all? Good.
Your Honor, that's it in the Finance and Safety Services report.
Okay, thank you. Public Services, Chairman Waldorf?
Your Honor, Public Services has no report, although I will look to Jeff King to update us on the electrical lines that are down.
Eric and I have both kind of co-team this because we're both quite involved in it. But as of this time, everybody knows that we lost the transmission line from Plank Road substation to North Peoria, 36th Street over there. We're not quite sure what it was. We don't know if it was a microburst or a wind gut. We don't know. I checked the airport. We had a maximum air reported out there was 27 miles an hour. And so, but then again, we had a fire call at Home Depot at the same time, exact same time. And there was a you know those carts that they put hanging baskets on, flower baskets? There was one of those that was lifted out of their lot, went over 3 sections of cars and landed on another car. So something happened between the airport and Home Depot in the area. I can't tell you what it was. I can't figure it out. But obviously something happened because our entire transmission line's on the ground right now. So we're working on getting that back going. We got the substation back up and going. We got some issues there that we got to work on with the generator side. A lot of wiring to do. Putting together, Eric and I have been working on one kind of where we're going to put this line back when we go in. Eric, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, working with Jeff and Kai, obviously you know that we do have future plans for Wenzel Road to be extended through that area. So we're just looking at the alignment and staying within our existing easement and making sure that when we do place these poles back, that we're minimizing the potential future relocations of any of the poles. So I've been working closely with the landowners as well to see what we could do, and then also working within those existing easement rights.
Do you estimate, Eric, a cost of that, and is that recouped by our insurance company?
That, I can't give you a positive answer on that. I know Jeff's been working on some of the costs up front right now. The only costs that we did originally were when we were looking at constructing that entire transmission line underground, and we didn't finalize those costs when we were looking at the Wenzel Road extension. For the overhead replacements, I know Jeff has quite a bit of those numbers handy here.
Yeah, when you're looking at the overhead right now, we're looking up or around between probably 135,000 to replace what we got into the ground.
Yeah, it'll
Yeah,
definitely be.
everything will be submitted. We've already started the claim. Dave started the claim. We turned in, I got a whole group of pictures we've turned in so far. The only thing we've really ordered at this point, we had to get wire ordered last night, so we ordered $14,000 worth of wire. We had to get that coming so we could get going. But other than that, we have the poles already, but a lot of this stuff is going to have to replace our inventory that we're pulling out of. Sure. So we're looking at 12 poles. Those are going to be somewhere in the range of 900 to 1,000 apiece. We had 72 insulators, 24 cross arms, and those are fiberglass cross arms, so a little bit more expensive. 3 wheels of 336 wire, 1 reel of 477 wire. Their fiber work, we got some fiber damaged up there, so we're guessing right around 5,000 for that right now, but we're really not sure until we get this line up and see what our damage is. One of the poles contained a capacitor bank, which that broke apart when it hit the ground. That's about 10 grand there. Miscellaneous guide wires and all the different support wires that we have through there, we're estimating that right around 8,000. And then we have Elder up there helping us with our consulting on it to get everything back in shape, and I don't have any cost on what that's going to be yet.
I'll add to that as well, working with those adjacent landowners and within those easement rights. We're also going to have some ancillary costs with crop damage, being that those fields are currently planted. We'll do a full inspection and walkthrough with the property owners once we're complete with, the utility trucks up and down the easement and in those crop rows.
Thank you.
Nothing else, public service?
Chief?
No.
Jeff, anything else? Eric?
Air show, did you want to talk about the air show and stuff we got going from there? You going to cover that? Yeah. Okay.
Just want to remind everyone that this Saturday, the city of Peru is hosting the 3rd annual TBM Avenger Reunion and a Salute to Veterans. It's going to be a action-packed event. We've got 15 TBM aircraft committed, along with probably 20 to 25 other Warbird-type aircraft that will be in attendance. The air show will be from noon until 4 p.m. The airspace is blocked out, and it's really looking to be a very good show. The Salute to Veterans part at 11:30 that morning. If you have any veterans in your family, or if you are a veteran, we would like everyone to show up. We're going to have a short parade honoring all the veterans from all the different conflicts, and then we're going to try to get a group picture. So there's been a lot of planning go into this, and it looks like everything is on board, and it looks like we might have the weather cooperate with us too. So we're keeping our fingers crossed for that. So come out. It's a free event, free parking, free admission. There will be food vendors there. You'll be able to take rides in some of those aircraft that I just mentioned. Some of them are a little pricey, but it's kind of a once-in-a-lifetime thing. There's going to be helicopter rides also, and a lot of military displays. So come out and enjoy the day. Bring your family.
Okay, thank you. Report city attorney, ordinances, resolutions?
Yes, Your Honor. First, I have a resolution naming Hap Drive, which reads as follows. Whereas James Anthony Hap, also known as J.A., was born in the city of Peru on October 19, 1982, and his parents continue to reside in the city. And whereas J.A. attended Peru School, St. Bede Academy, and then Northwestern University, and whereas J.A. debuted as a professional major league pitcher with the Philadelphia Phillies on June 30th, 2007.
I don't think your mic is...
And earned a World Series ring with the Phillies in 2008. And whereas J.A. has been a professional major league pitcher for nearly 11 years and is presently with the Toronto Blue Jays. And whereas J.A. and his wife Morgan have been very philanthropic to the city of Peru for its splash pad, St. Bede Academy for many projects, and numerous other local charitable causes. And whereas it is appropriate to rename a portion of 9th Street to Hap Drive in honor of one of the city's favorite sons.
Then do we have a motion to approve this resolution as written and read?
So moved.
Waldorf and Alderman Sapienza.
Okay. And that's the short road between, what's the up and down on Park Drive? And in between the splash pad and the parking lot, and it's a tribute to J.A. and his wife Morgan. They were very, very generous in their donations to the building of the splash pad, so we thank them very much. And we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Have a roll call. Clerk, call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Lukosius. Sapienza. Payton. Ballard.
Motion approved.
Next, Your Honor, I have an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances, Section 110-93, concerning stop signs. This adds a stop sign westbound on newly named Hap Drive with Park Road. Also, east and westbound traffic on A Street, westbound traffic on A Street with Park Road, and eastbound traffic on A Street with Rock Street.
You have an ordinance to approve, motion to approve the ordinance as written and read.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call, clerk, call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari. Waldorf. Lukosius. Sapienza. Payton. Ballard.
Motion approved.
Next, I have a resolution authorizing the sale of a 2013 Ford Interceptor utility SUV to the city of Winona. The squad car's got 80,000 miles, and the sale price is $11,500.
Have a motion to approve the resolution? So moved, Your Honor.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Have a roll call, clerk, call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari. Waldorf. Lukosius. Sapienza. Payton. Ballard.
Motion approved.
Finally, I have an ordinance amending ordinance number 6,215 entitled An Ordinance Fixing Wages for Employees of the City of Peru, Illinois. It's for fiscal year 2019.
Do you have a motion to approve the ordinance as written and read? So moved.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion and a second to approve the ordinance as written and read. Any discussion? Have a roll call, clerk, call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari. Waldorf. Lukosius. Sapienza. Payton. Ballard.
Motion approved.
Nothing further.
Any proclamations tonight?
No, Your Honor.
Any unfinished business? TBM Avenger event, right? New business.
We have a...
Yeah, we have a letter from Lori Jenko Wilkie dated May 4th, 2018, to Scott Harrell, Mayor of Peru. Dear Scott, I just want to personally thank you for allowing me to serve as a board member for the Peru Building and Zoning Committee. It was a great learning experience. Unfortunately, due to my family and workload, I need to resign. Please extend my gratitude to all fellow members. I will miss the friendship that I acquired. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. I talked with Ms. Jenko Wilkie, and she was very appreciative, like she says in the letter, to have the opportunity, and she was a very good board member, but she's pretty busy, so she needed to step down. So with that, I'll ask anybody with any interest to let me know, because we need to replace a board member on the building zoning, and I'd like to see some names in there. So we have the resignation letter, and we did send a thank you letter back to her, thanking her for her time and her service. So we have a motion to receive the letter and place on file.
So moved, Your Honor.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
The next under new business is a motion to authorize Risk Management Coordinator Dave Bartley to sign on behalf of the city the election of council, Attorney Austin Zimmer, to represent the city of Peru in Appel versus LaSalle, Ottawa, Peru. And this is probably something Chief can give a little more detail on.
There's some litigation been filed involving the LaSalle County Safe Unit, and as everybody on the council knows, the Peru Police Department was never a member of the Safe Unit. Why we got named, we don't know, but we've already been in discussions with the attorneys who will be filing the appropriate motions to dismiss, since we were not a member of the Safe Unit. But we met with council last week in the insurance company, and we are going to ask that the council authorize Dave to sign that, and then the individual defendants will sign that to have Mr. Zimmer represent our interest.
Your Honor, I will make the motion to authorize.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second to authorize Risk Management Coordinator Clerk David Bartley to sign on behalf of the city of Peru the election of council, Attorney Austin Zimmer to represent the city in the case that has been brought against us. Is there any discussion? Do a roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Aye.
Payton.
Aye.
Ballard.
Motion approved. Anything else under new business that came in?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, petitions, communications?
Yes, Your Honor, we have several. The first communication is from Diamond Truck Wash requesting a variance for the property located at 3129 May Road.
Make a motion
To refer that to the proper, zoning or
Yeah.
planning commission.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion to receive it, place on file, and turn it over to planning and zoning for their review and recommendation. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Second communication is from Jose Felix requesting the purchase of a city property immediately to the west of 828 Peru Street. That's something a gentleman came in, apparently indicates that he owns a property actually in LaSalle. It is a rental property, and there's a vacant property next to it. And I know that he spoke with Melissa on the zoning side. They looked it up on the mapping, but we'll need some more clarification on that.
Yeah, I agree, because if he lives in LaSalle, it'd have to be across the street.
And it,
Oh, 820, okay, this is a different one. I
And
haven't seen
besides,
it.
I rode up and down Peru Street before I came here, and I didn't see no such address.
I'm not aware of the city owning property in that area.
Okay, well, we'll receive that communication and table it for now until we have a little more information. Well, we can refer it over to,
Well, if
we need to
it's
talk about it a little
sale,
bit more to see what we're gonna
Yeah.
do, because what we're gonna need to do is if we approve that we want to sell the property, we need to have it appraised and then decide on what, because technically we're supposed to sell it at no less than 80% of appraisal price, so a little more, let's have a little more clarification.
Fair enough.
So, can I have a motion and a second on that, and then we'll send it back for more clarification?
I'll have a motion to table it for now.
A second?
I'll second that.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll table that, and we'll have more information to present.
Next, we have a communication from the Peru American Legion Post 375 and the Peru Veterans Memorial Group announcing a Flag Day program and flag retirement ceremony at Peru Veterans Memorial Park on Thursday, June 14th at 5 p.m.
Okay, we have a motion to receive the communication and grant permission.
So moved, Your Honor. Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion and a second to receive the communication and grant permission on the flag retirement ceremony. Flag retirement ceremony was always run by former Alderman Robert Ankewich, who we just lost a week ago, and, yeah, he did a good job at that for a lot of years.
It was near and dear to his heart.
Yes, it was. So we'll receive it, place it on file, grant permission. If there's no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Next, we have a communication from Amber Gillette requesting permission to hold a wedding at Baker Lake on August 3rd at 3:30.
I'll make a motion if it's not a problem, grant that permission.
Do I have a second? Have a motion and a second to receive the communication, grant permission, and allow the wedding on August 3rd at 3:30 at Baker Lake. Ought to be plenty warm by then. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Okay, received a letter from a Russ Osborne with Turnkey Processing Solutions, the managing project for construction at the Northern Light Sand at the Peru Rail site. And he said that I would like to let all know about the work done by Kai Krasinski and his team for the Northern Light Sand Peru Rail site. From the planning of the project, setting of the new power lines, temporary power for office trailers, and setting the transformer for the project, all work was done very timely and professionally. Not only the electric department, but all City of Peru involvement with the project could not have been any better. Working with Eric Carls and Tyler Dobrich with permitting and inspections has gone very smoothly and professionally. It has been a pleasure to work with all the folks at the city. So that was very nice. Congratulations to everybody mentioned and everybody else with the City of Peru. Do we have a motion to receive this and place on file?
So moved.
Second came from... Okay, is there any discussion? All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Next, we have a communication from Chris Dudek requesting variances for a property located at 1131 Center Street.
Your Honor, I'll make a motion that we refer this on to the proper committee.
Okay, we have a motion by Alderman Waldorf and a second by Alderman Sapienza to receive the communication, place on file, and refer to planning zoning for their review and recommendation. Is there any discussion? All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried.
Final communication is from Casey's General Store requesting variances for the property located at 1200 Shooting Park Road.
And we have a motion to receive the communication, place on file, and move it to the proper committee, which is planning zoning, for review and recommendation.
So moved, Your Honor.
Okay. Alderman Payton, Alderman Putta. Have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Anything further?
No further communications, Your Honor.
Okay, we're at public comment. Do we have any public comment from anybody?
I had one thing we forgot to mention. This Saturday also is the fishing rodeo up at Baker's Lake.
What time does that start,
I
Dan?
believe 9 o'clock, right?
9 a.m.?
9 to 3:30 is, I believe, what it is, so, we'd like to see as many people out there as we can. The lake's looking beautiful. It's, if you haven't been out there, we had a lot of stuff done too. A lot of the landscaping's been done, so it's really looking nice, so we're ready for it. That I don't know. They've been attacking the swan out there, so I don't know.
Okay, public comment. We have any public comment at this time? Okay, would you please approach the mic and state your name?
Thank you. Julie Eister, and previously this council voted not to pay my attorney's fees with regard to an issue involving the Open Meetings Act. And I would just like to put this council on notice, as well as providing some additional details that perhaps the whole council is not aware of. This city council, the Attorney General's office, found violated the Open Meetings Act numerous times in the past several months with regard to police consolidation. This is a situation where, when it was first proposed that there was possibly talk of shared services with regards to the police department, people became alarmed because this had never been discussed at any open meeting. Then I was approached by several Peru residents to look into the matter, and they retained me to look into it. I had requested copies of the minutes as well as the recordings from the Open Meetings Act. I was given the minutes, which were extremely defective, in my opinion, as well as the Attorney General's opinion, because when you have an hour and a half closed session meeting and the minutes are literally 3 sentences, that does not convey what was actually addressed in that closed session meeting. So when I didn't get anywhere with the City of Peru, I then filed a complaint or request for investigation and review with the Attorney General's office, who then looked into it. They listened to your closed session recordings, and they determined that the City of Peru did in fact violate the Open Meetings Act on numerous occasions. And based on that, then the recordings were provided to me and my clients, to which they were reviewed by them. And at this point in time, my clients have now incurred attorney's fees for me obtaining those closed session recordings. Okay? Now, under the Open Meeting Act, if a council violates the Open Meeting Act, a lawsuit can ensue. Okay? And my clients could ask for numerous remedies. One, they could ask for an injunction against the City Council to refrain from violating the Open Meetings Act in the future. They could ask that anything discussed in those closed session meetings being declared null and void, so you have to start over. And there were several discussions. I think one was about creation of the Shared Services Committee, as well as buying of certain property, which was exempt, as well as they could ask, in addition to an injunction, as well as the meetings declared null and void, they could also ask that the meetings be conducted over, and they would also be entitled to attorney's fees. So to avoid that lengthy litigation for my clients to get their attorney's fees back, I sent a letter to the City of Peru and said, if you pay on behalf of my clients, so they don't have to pay me, and then in turn have to sue the City of Peru, which then would incur additional costs, such as filing fees as well as additional attorney's fees, because once we go into litigation, my fees continue, as well as the City of Peru retaining counsel to defend the lawsuit. Additionally, if a city council violates the Open Meetings Act willfully, and on this particular situation, in this occasion, you have a council violated it 4 times. And so, also under the Open Meetings Act, it's also a criminal act to violate Open Meetings Act intentionally. So I did discuss that with my clients about possibly pursuing criminal charges, to which they said, no, what we want from our elected officials is just open government. So as long as you go and you explain to them that at this point in time, we're not going to seek criminal charges because this may have been an oversight, but going forward, just warn them not to do it again, because the first time you violate Open Meetings Act, although this is classifying as 4 separate instances, since it was the same discussion, the same topic throughout 4 separate meetings, they said as long as you warn them not to do it again, there won't be a problem, because now the council is on notice that, according to the Attorney General's office and the Open Meetings Act, to go into executive closed session, there are certain exceptions, but they're very, very narrow exceptions. We can't just say as a city council, well, we might talk about buying a property, so we're going to go into closed session. No, you can go into closed session if you're talking about specific property, a specific price, and specifics with regard to that. Same with employment. When you went into closed session to discuss the sharing of police services, it was under the false pretense of, oh, we might have to, this might involve employment. No. Employment means we're talking about John Smith's employment, disciplinary actions, and somebody specific. So at this point in time, they did not ask me to pursue criminal charges because they wanted me to put the council on notice that this is kind of your warning one time. But in light of the council's decision not to pay my client's attorney's fees to me, going forward, we will have to file suit in the Circuit Court of LaSalle County and litigate it that way. So I just wanted the council to be aware, because I don't know what correspondence the council gets or how aware the council is when someone sends a Freedom of Information Act request and they receive a reply, or when someone such as myself on behalf of my clients files something with the Attorney General's office. I don't know how aware the council is that that's going on. So in this particular instance, I just wanted to advise the council as to the backstory, what's going on, and what's going to go forward from here, because, to be honest with you, if I was on a council and I said, well, see, I got a $3,000 bill from some attorney, no, we're not going to pay that, we have our own city attorney, but this is kind of the facts and circumstances surrounding that bill.
Okay,
So
Ms. Ister, you're well over your limit, and we're getting a little repetitious. Who's your client?
Well, I'm not going to disclose them at this point in time because they wish to remain anonymous. If filing suit, we may have to file as a Jane Doe or a John Doe. These are people that are concerned about possible retaliation living in such a small community. And people scoff at that. But it's an actual fear that people have about speaking out against certain members of the council as well as Chief Burnaby. So at this point in time, I won't disclose that, but if I need to, I will later. If I file a lawsuit with their anonymity and the court orders me to disclose them, then I will.
Will you be billing us for this?
No. And additionally, the bill did not include conferences with clients because not only did the city of Peru violate the Open Meetings Act, so did Spring Valley and LaSalle, potentially, but unlike Peru, when I sent a request to Spring Valley and LaSalle for the minutes and recordings, they said, here you go. We're gonna be open and transparent with you, here you go. The city of Peru did not do that, which required more investigation involving the Attorney General's office. So my bill right there was bare minimum. I could have doubled twice that bill if I included additional comments with my clients regarding other matters, about the documents that I received, listening to tapes, as well as discussions I had with LaSalle and Spring Valley. So this particular bill related to Peru only. So.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else for public comment? Any public comment? Okay, hearing none. Do we have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor? Meeting adjourned.